You guys. Congressman Wenstrup, welcome to the Chris Salcedo Show. Glad to have you here, sir. The crumbling story that branded the lab leak a conspiracy theory is said to be collapsing because of this defector, who is reportedly the highest-ranking Chinese defector ever to enter the United States, who is singing like a canary, we're told, to the DIA. But what's disturbing, Congressman, is that certain government agencies like the FBI, the State Department, the CIA, they were not informed for fear they had been infiltrated by undue influence from China. If this reporting is true, isn't that terrifying?
Yeah, it is. If it's true, as you said, we're asking these questions right now. We're seeing what's being reported as you are. It would be great if we And, the problem with anybody from China, and if they're part of the Communist Party, anything that benefits the state is not a lie. So we have to be careful. Look, Americans, we're now talking about the genetic engineering. We're also talking about political engineering. And really, the United States and the world may have been victims of both. And here's why. Last year when this started, I got on the line with a friend of mine, another doctor here in Ohio, and we were going back and forth, even talking to Chinese doctors, because we were trying to figure out this virus and get more information. But along the way, we realized that they've been studying viruses for bioterror as far back as 2003. In 2015, a U.S. scientist, Ralph Barrick, was working with a doctor in China, Shi Zhengli, and they were working on what we now call gain-of-function type of experiments. Well, the United States said, we're going to put a pause on that. Well, if we weren't doing it, why would we put a pause on it? So we were involved with this in some way, and certainly the Chinese continued to do that. In 2019, Dr. Shi Zhengli and another Dr. Peng Zhao, they said the next virus is likely going to come from bats in China. And in February of 20, on February 6th, there was an article in the South China Morning Post by Shi Zhengli saying that the COVID virus matched 96% of what they had in the lab that she had taken from caves and brought to their lab. So you put all these things together, and it's very interesting. And now it's even more so when we see Dr. Fauci's emails that give us great concern. He gets an email at the end of,
Yeah, it does. And I promised your team that I'd have that at a certain time because I know you got another appointment to get to. But I wanted to ask you this really quickly about the border.
Sure.
After the vice president passed out cookies to the press that had her image on them, she went down to Guatemala to bribe foreign governments with our taxpayer dollars and to try to discover why America's southern border is in crisis right now. Question, why doesn't she just use that money she took down to pay off these foreign governments to enforce our border laws?
Well, that's the question from the beginning, and they say that we are going to stick to our laws, but clearly we are not. And President Trump had things under control in a very humanitarian way, by the way. And what this has done, when they opened it up and said 7-year-olds can come across, and that's what the cartels started going for. The only people winning in this are the cartels. And everything that was working has been shut down, and she has not even gone to the border. It's 75, 76 days since she was put in charge. This is really unbelievable that a vice president of the United States would be in charge of something like this and then not even go see it. And when you start giving money to other countries, you always have to wonder, where is that money actually going and what do you hope to achieve? Well, why don't you take a look at what's going on at the border, and then that would be the first clue of what you may be trying to achieve. Look, I'm for legal immigration. This is not what's going on today, and it's a threat to us. We have kids coming across with scabies, meningitis, lice, and of course COVID. Now, if we're concerned about COVID, obviously, why would you just open the borders? They're not even being tested. There is so many unanswered questions that she's not solving them.
Absolutely, absolutely true. Congressman, we appreciate the time you carve out for us. I promised your team I'd have you out right away. Appreciate the time as always. Still to come, Biden's worsening border